I'm just going to come out and say it. There is no doubt in my mind that Hunter Biden is funneling money to his dad through surreptitious means, that Joe Biden is helping to orchestrate these business dealings in Ukraine and China, and then Hunter Biden funnels that money back to his dad. Because the latest revelation is that Hunter Biden was paying $50,000 per month to rent a house in Wilmington, Delaware, where Joe Biden lived, and the top rent for the area in the worst case scenario, $6,000. Now, my question is, doesn't the IRS get a little curious about that rental income? Well, here's the issue. For someone like Joe Biden, he probably owns multiple properties. He probably has large rental income. And so when he files his taxes, he doesn't put, my son is paying me $50,000 to live in a $5,000 a month house. But now we got the news reports. So what's it going to be, IRS? Are you going to launch an inquiry into why it is Hunter Biden was paying 10 to 11 times the standard rent? You see, I've talked about this before. I talked to my accountant. He basically lays things out like where you can spend money, where you can't spend money. You cannot do the things that Hunter Biden did. And I'll tell you why. There's gift taxes. There's lifetime gift limits, meaning if you want to give someone money, at a certain point, it becomes taxable income. The government wants to make sure that if you're hiring someone for a job, they're paying their taxes. Okay. So when you pay someone, say $50,000 per month for rent, they say, nice try. You're trying to use rent as a means to transfer money to a loved one at a different tax rate. Or, in this instance, launder it. Now, last week we had the Krasenstein brothers and Matt Gaetz on Timcast IRL. And they could not be in more disagreement with each other when it comes to politics. But they did agree on one thing. The classified document story is kind of stupid. You know what? I kind of agree. They raided Trump's house, though. That's the issue. You know what Matt Gaetz said? He said every single past VP or president probably is in violation of the Federal Records Act for some technical reason. Yeah, he's probably right. No, I agree. And I think the only reason they're going after Trump is because they need a reason to go after Trump. I mean, once his house got raided, all of a sudden everyone's saying, that's it, he's disqualified. Spare me your nonsense. Because now Joe Biden's been caught. Worse than that, though. We're now learning that apparently Hunter Biden not only was paying a ridiculous sum of money to live there, which is a red flag, but he had access to these documents. Who else? Republicans are now demanding logs. They want to know who was coming and going from that property. Here's the worst part. We don't know what these documents are related to. But imagine Hunter Biden did actually live there, and he brought one of his hookers or, crack buddies, because New York Post says drug-addled. Okay. What if one of these individuals got access to these documents, learned secrets, and could maybe sell them? Yeah, that is a tremendous breach of our national security. So you want to complain about Donald Trump and security? It's like the FBI came, they put a lock on a box. They put the closet or whatever, the cabinet where he had the documents. They locked it. Joe Biden had his drug-addled son coming and going as he pleased. For what? Now, here's the funny part. For all we know, Hunter Biden did not actually live there. He was just trying to funnel money to his dad. Uh-oh. Now it's all coming full circle, isn't it? I have to wonder if this is, some people have argued the deep state is trying to get rid of Joe Biden in time for 2024. We'll see. But let's read the news from the New York Post. Drug-addled Hunter Biden lived at Delaware home where classified docs were kept. Disgraced first son, Hunter Biden lived off and on at the Delaware home where classified documents from Joe Biden's time as vice president were found last month, giving him unrestricted access to America's secrets while he was addicted to drugs, hammering out shady foreign business deals, and under federal investigation. Now, I want you to think about that paragraph. And then I want you to think about this tweet. Miranda Devine says, in 2018, Biden claimed he owned the house where Joe Biden kept classified documents alongside his Corvette in the garage via JJ Talking. Now, I read this background screening request document they've posted. I'm not entirely sure it says what they think it says. Here's what it says. Current residence, or it says background check screening, what name as it appears in your driver's license, and then it's got, current address, Road, Delaware, Wilmington, etc. They blew out the number. Now, keep in mind, this information is all publicly available but we're not giving out the number. Current residents. It says, I guess that lists, his current residents. And it says move-in date 3/27, move out date February 2018. And so this was filled out 7/17/2018, several months after he moved out. It now says he owns. Here's what I think it's saying. I don't think it's saying that he owned the house Joe Biden lived in. I think it's saying he rented that house that Joe Biden lived in for $49,910 per month. It says he now owns. What I think it's saying is that he moved out. Now he owns his own house. Not that he owned that house. But it does show that he was giving his dad $50,000 per month for a property that shouldn't cost anywhere near that. Trump Jr. tweeted, "That's the most expensive home I could find for rent currently on Compass in Wilmington, $4,500 per month. You're telling me that humble public servant Joe's house is worth 11 times more than this, and it's not a scam? Come on, man." Max Abrams said, "Maybe Joe's house is so expensive because it comes with the documents." Maybe that's it. It comes with the documents. No, come on. It's that Hunter Biden is doing these deals with Burisma in Ukraine. He's doing these deals in China. And who knows where else he's doing these deals. Joe Biden is organizing them. But Joe Biden doesn't want to get connected to this, especially if the deals were being organized while he was vice president. So Hunter Biden finds a way to funnel money to him. Now, let me put the date here. March 2017. So this is Joe Biden leaves. Hunter Biden then comes in to rent the property, paying him $49,000 a month for just about 11 months. I got to wonder. Here's what I think happened. While Joe Biden is vice president, no money gets exchanged. Hunter Biden makes all the money, puts it in his bank account, pays taxes. Then Joe Biden leaves office. Hunter then says, "Now I'm going to pay you rent." That way, as VP, he wasn't generating that revenue, wouldn't have to appear on any disclosure forms. Joe Biden just gets out of office. Hunter starts funneling him money. I got a question, I guess. We got these reports that there's going to be a global recession. The World Economic Forum is predicting 63% of individuals are predicting a global recession. You've got thousands of private planes flying into Davos right now for the World Economic Forum. Have fun, guys. Does this really matter? There's a viral meme going around where this guy's got sunglasses on. He's sitting at a table and he's putting eggs in baggies and weighing them. And then he's going like, "Yo, what up?" And he's got a chicken on his shoulder. Eggs are so damn expensive right now. It's like averaging $8 a carton. Me, I got chickens. So we got too many eggs. Maybe I should sell them. I probably got like $50 worth of eggs just sitting on the counter. My point is, as Matt Gaetz brought up, this is not an issue Americans care about. It's a big scandal. The people who are in politics like you and I, we probably care about it. But the most important, the most pressing thing is probably not this. It's probably the economy. So that's tough. Here I am doing this segment because I feel that when it comes to politics and news, this matters. People need to know this. Here's the way I'll put it. I understand. You're probably asking yourself why it is eggs cost so much money. Well, it all comes full circle, doesn't it? You vote for someone as crooked and corrupt as the Bidens. They just pump money into the system. They don't care about whether or not it will have a negative impact on you. They just want to get in the machine to enrich themselves. And then their policies fail and you face that negative impact. That's why it matters. If the American people knew how corrupt the Biden family was, the Biden crime family as they're called, maybe he would not have been elected. Maybe we would have gotten a better president who could fix the economy. One thing you need to understand is that while the COVID stuff did happen under Trump, the governors take a lot of blame for this, but I do put a lot of responsibility on Donald Trump. The important thing is that in 2019, the best numbers of our lives in the economy. This means that we had an opportunity to reelect a guy who knows how to run a business. So with all the bad things that were happening, we probably could have brought in Trump, seen things generally improve. right now, you would not be looking at $8 for eggs. But you are. Because you didn't know that the crooked and corrupt Biden family was just trying to rob you. Because they told you it was the Trumps who were doing it. They said it was Jared Kushner and Ivanka Trump. They said it was Don Jr. When in reality, the Trump family lost money from all of this. Now, don't get me wrong. Donald Trump just sold a bunch of NFTs, but Donald Trump can sell NFTs because he's a celebrity. He didn't have to run for president. He could have went and done some celebrity garbage. He'd have made more money. You look at his tax returns over the past several years, losing $20 million a year. You take a look at the Clintons. You take a look at the Obamas. Look how much money they made after they left office. So I'm not saying Trump's the best guy in the world. I'm not saying he's a nice guy. I'm just saying, tell me, Biden supporters, please, how you justify $50,000 per month in rent. Now, man, it's quite simple. We know exactly what this is all about. It's all about funneling that 10% to the big guy. Hey, let's talk about this. There was some talk about some private equity deal with China, a $5 million forgivable loan. 10% for the big guy, huh? It's about $500,000. Hunter Biden rented a property at $49,910 a month for just about 10 months. That comes out to about $500,000. You know, I'm not, could be completely unrelated. Maybe the dates don't add up. I'm just saying 10% for the big guy. You'd think maybe it'd be more, but maybe there were other ways he was funneling money to his dad. TechnoFog has a really good question on Twitter. Why were Biden's personal lawyers looking for classified documents in a locked closet at the Penn Biden Center in November 2022? It's an interesting question. Maybe they weren't, to be fair. Maybe they weren't. Maybe they were just going through his records, found them and said, oh, crap. I do not want to be embroiled in a scandal, and just sent them off. What I mean is, if they tried to obfuscate this, it'd be on them. And they don't want that. They're probably thinking, let's just put all this on Joe Biden. It's his problem. I don't want to be involved. He's old. He's out anyway. And so they just reported it. You want to know where it gets funnier? On the 14th, 5 more classified documents were found in Biden's home. It's really incredible, isn't it? Just keeps getting worse for Joe Biden. But the real question, I suppose, is how much do people really care? No, seriously. I mean, I wonder this. Like I was mentioning with Matt Gaetz, every executive is, every VP president's probably in violation by some technical standard. So maybe, I don't know. I'll tell you why I think it matters in the end. Because of what we uncover because of it. Now, following this, people start digging. And what do we learn? This is January 12th, 2023. Miranda Devine starts looking into, who lives at this property. And sure enough, we see Hunter Biden does. Sure enough, we see Hunter Biden paying like $500,000 to his dad. You pull on the thread, and that's the point. A story like this has a lot of questions around it. And you see Joe Biden walking down the street with a thread hanging from his jacket. And so you say, you know what? We're going to pull that. And what do you find? You find a lot. Why were his lawyers going through his records at his home and at his office? Honest question. Because TechnoFog asks about the UPenn address. But what about the other address? What about his house? Why are they now going through everything? Some suggest the deep state is coming to get rid of Joe Biden. But that makes no sense to me. Because if they want to get rid of Joe Biden, they just go to Joe and be like, all right, Joe, your time's up. Unless they did. And then Joe is like, no way, man. I'm running again. I'm going to be 2 terms. And they were like, no, Joe, you're not. And he says, yes, I am. And they said, okay, let's get him out. I really don't believe it. Because Joe's a crooked guy. He's got to know all about this. If they really were, doing the things that we believe they do. I mean, if Joe Biden's the one who appointed Merrick Garland in the first place, then Joe Biden would just be all right, I'm out. Because he's a part of that machine. So I can't tell you. I think what it probably comes down to is his lawyers stumbled upon it and then said, screw this. I'm not taking the heat for Joe Biden. Of course, CNN's desperately trying to blow that heat off. Take a look at this. I worked on document handling issues in the government. Here's why Biden and Trump's cases are different. Here's why they're different. Oh boy, here we go. We will all need to be patient now that Maryland U.S. Attorney Robert Hur has been appointed. Been appointed by U.S. Attorney General Merrick Garland as a special counsel in charge of the investigation into classified documents. But giving her the time to dig into legitimate questions he must ask does not mean we should compare Biden's legal exposure to that of Donald Trump. You know what? It's hard enough for me to talk. I'm actually on the mend, mind you. You know, this past weekend, like, it's crazy. Friday, I woke up, my voice is a little bad. It started getting better. But then by the time Matt Gaetz got here, I couldn't talk at all. Like, bleh. But this is actually, I'm feeling a lot better. So I decided I'd try to work, but maybe I just can't do it. I don't know. So it's hard enough for me to talk. It's harder for me to actually care about the lies and manipulations of CNN. They're failing. They're struggling. And it's like, at a certain point, I have to wonder why it is people don't just say, dude, you are lying to me, okay? Like, how many times does CNN need to run some story where they're like, yes, bad thing happened, but actually, for you to be like, okay, this can't all be true, right? You know, like Donald Trump, they pull every lie in the book, the very fine people hoax, the injecting bleach hoax. At a certain point, the average person needs to just be like, how come every time some story comes out that sounds bad for Democrats, the CNN just comes out with some explanation as to why it's not? And every single time Donald Trump farts, CNN runs a national headline, boom, Donald Trump destroys decorum with flatulence. Every time. No question. No matter what Biden or the Democrats do, here's a reason why it's good. No matter what Trump or Republicans do, here's a reason why it's bad. At a certain point, is someone going to ask? Maybe they're just zombies. Maybe they always were. House Republicans demand access to visitor logs from Biden's Delaware home to determine who may have been able to access classified documents found there. Kentucky Rep. James Corner wants to see visitor logs. They don't have them. They don't keep them. And I wonder why it is Biden keeps going back there. He goes there a lot. The White House Saturday said it found 5 additional pages, yes. The demands made by the newly empowered Republicans were spearheaded by Kentucky Rep. James Comer, who said, we have a lot of questions. They want records of everyone who visited the Biden compound from January 21 onwards, when he was inaugurated as president. However, answers to those questions may not be forthcoming, as a Secret Service spokesperson has since said visitor logs aren't even kept. This sounds so dirty. It sounds like the deepest and darkest corruption you can imagine. So, okay, maybe this is not a kitchen table issue for you. Maybe it's not your insurance prices. Maybe it's not your gas prices or the cost of chicken eggs. But this is just like sitting back, watching scumbags, crime families defecate onto our flag, and then regular people empower them and wonder why it is things just keep getting worse. That's the bummer. They do feel like they're just getting worse. I've had some people argue the economy is going to get better, and I hope it does. The argument is that other countries are so shot, like Japan, for instance. They'll have no choice but to try and borrow tons of US dollars to buy energy and try and fix their economies, which means the US economy will take off. Maybe we control that petrodollar. So if people want to buy oil, they got to buy from us first. They got to get US dollars. How are they going to do it? If everybody's economies are in the gutter, they're going to have to borrow money from us so they can buy oil to kickstart their economy. For the US, we just print it. We fabricate that money on issuance of debt. So we don't have to worry about that the same way they do. It's a good argument for why the economy may actually improve. And if there is a global recession, it still may turn out pretty well for the US. But I'm not entirely convinced. If there is a global recession, what that means to me, or if it means anything at all, is that other countries aren't going to be doing any spending. They're not going to be spending money. They're not going to be able to use our money. They're going to be destitute. Or maybe because of that desperation, they'll borrow money like crazy, and that will make us do better in the end. I think global recession ultimately just means we will all be worse off. So I don't know. 2 things I'll say. Some people say this is a distraction from the economic issues that Biden Democrats have wrought, and the World Economic Forum and NATO, etc. However, the other thing I'll say is maybe it's the other way around. Maybe because the economy is in dire straits and eggs are so expensive, that's why they were looking for these documents. Now they were like, listen, we got bad news on the economy. Everyone's going to be staring over there at $9 a carton eggs, $8 a carton eggs. Release the documents. Maybe that's why they waited. They found the documents before the midterms. They knew they had them. It's been several months. Maybe they were thinking, we do not want the heat right before a midterm, and we do not want the heat in general. Once bad news on the economy comes out, they say everyone's distracted, drop them. So what happens? You and I, we know it. We watch it. We're concerned about it. Everybody else, they're too busy watching memes about a dude and his eggs. It's tough days, huh? We know they're corrupt, but how much does it really matter? Anyway, I guess I just throw it to you to comment below. Let me know what you think. I'll leave it there. Next segment is coming up at 1 p.m., hopefully, on this channel. And I'll see how my voice does. It was bad yesterday. It's getting better. And it actually has been getting better throughout the morning. So otherwise, maybe I'll just have to wait until IRL again so that I can come back full swing. We'll see. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. And I will see you all at 1 p.m. maybe.